Have you ever stayed up at night, thinking about what someone said to you? Do you replay moments in your head, wondering what others think about you? Why do their opinions matter so much, even when they don't really know you deeply? One simple example. Imagine walking into a room and someone doesn't smile at you. Your mind starts spinning. Did I do something wrong? Do they dislike me? But in truth, maybe they were just lost in their own thoughts. This happens to so many of us. We carry the weight of others' thoughts, even when those thoughts might not even exist. We let their silence, their reactions, or their lack of attention become our stress. But here's the real question. How long will we let others' thoughts control our peace? How long will we give power to those who might not even be thinking about us at all? Buddhism offers a very gentle but strong insight here. The Buddha taught that freedom begins when we stop depending on others for happiness. When we think too much about others, we step away from our own path. It's like walking in circles around a locked door, while the open gate is just behind us. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. If you're watching this and finding even a little peace or clarity, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Wisdom Woven. Your small action can help many others who need this kind of healing too. When you think less about others, you begin to hear yourself more. The noise fades. You breathe deeper. You smile without needing a reason. This is not coldness, it's clarity. It's not selfish, it's self-awareness. And slowly, with mindfulness, you begin to walk lighter. Let's begin this journey together. Not to fight the world, but to stop fighting ourselves. The illusion of external validation. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe slowly. Feel the air move in and out. Now, tell me, why do you smile only when someone else smiles at you? Why do you feel good only when someone says, "Well done"? Why does your heart beat faster when someone praises you, in sync when they ignore you? This is what I call the illusion of external validation. People spend their entire lives chasing it. Chasing smiles, claps, likes, words of approval. We build our day around it. We dress for it. We post for it. We think for it. We even hide who we are just to be accepted by others. But can you see the trap? What people think of you is their story, not yours. It changes every day. One day, they say you're kind. The next day, they say you're too soft. One day, they admire your honesty. Another day, they say you're too direct. Their words are like the wind. They move in every direction. If you build your happiness on their words, then your peace will be like a leaf in the storm. This is not wisdom. This is suffering. The Buddha taught this clearly. He said, praise and blame, gain and loss, pleasure and pain. These are the 8 worldly winds. They will forever change. Don't be carried away by them. Let me tell you a small story. Once, a young man went to the Buddha and shouted at him. He said harsh words. He tried to insult him. The Buddha stayed calm and quiet. After some time, the man grew tired and asked, "Why don't you react? Why don't you defend yourself?" The Buddha gently replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The young man said, "To the one who offered it." The Buddha smiled. "Exactly. I do not accept your anger. It remains with you. You see, when someone gives you praise or blame, and you don't attach your identity to it, you are free. But the moment you start depending on it, you become trapped. Many people think validation is love, but it's not. True love, whether from yourself or from others, has no need to prove itself. It just is. But validation is a need. It is a hunger, and hunger always makes you restless. Think about this. You do something good. You help someone. But if you feel hurt because they didn't thank you, ask yourself, did you help them, or were you feeding your own need to be appreciated? This is not judgment. This is a soft question, one that brings clarity. There is nothing wrong with feeling good when people appreciate you. That's natural. The problem begins when you depend on it, when you need it to feel okay. Buddhism teaches us to turn the mirror inward. Why do we crave so much from the outside? Because inside, we have forgotten how to sit with ourselves. We think, if others approve, then I must be enough. But what if you could feel enough, even in silence? Even when nobody is watching? This is what monks practice. This is what mindfulness is about. Sit quietly. Observe your thoughts. You'll see how many of them are just stories about what others might think. You'll see how often you imagine conversations in your head. You'll catch yourself planning how to impress, how to explain, how to defend. But none of this brings real peace. Because peace doesn't come from fixing how others see you. It comes from not needing to be seen in a certain way at all. Let me tell you another simple story. There was once a man who loved to carve wood. He spent days creating a beautiful bell stand. People from the village came and praised him. "You are so talented," they said. He smiled, but said nothing. Later, someone asked him, "Why didn't you thank them? Don't you feel proud?" The man replied, "I did not carve to be praised. I carve because I love the stillness that enters me when I work. That is the real reward. This is the spirit of Zen. Whatever you do, speak, write, cook, clean, help, do it from your center, not from your need to be noticed. When you act with peace in your heart, the act itself becomes enough. People may still notice. They may still praise. But that'll just be a flower on the path, not the path itself. Buddha never taught us to reject the world. He taught us to see it clearly. And once you see the nature of external validation, how it rises and fades, you will stop chasing it like a thirsty man chasing a mirage. Instead, you will turn inward. You will water the soil of your own soul. You will feel joy not because someone else clapped for you, but because you did something good, something kind, something truthful, and that was enough. You no longer ask, "Did they notice me?" You'll smile and say, "I notice myself," and that is more than enough. So ask yourself now, not with judgment, but with soft awareness, how much of my life have I lived for the eyes of others? And then ask, what would my life feel like if I let go of that? Let the answer come gently. Let it rise from within. This is the beginning of real freedom. You are not here to perform. You are here to be, not to be seen, but to truly see. And in that seeing, you'll find a peace that no praise can match. This is the path of the Buddha. This is the heart of Zen. Now, let's walk it together in silence, one breath at a time. Freedom from the opinions of the world. Sit with me, child. Let me tell you a truth that took me many years to see clearly. We are born free, but slowly, we let the world tie ropes around our hearts. Ropes made from opinions, judgments, and fears of what will they say. This is how the mind becomes a prison. And the strange part? We keep the door locked from the inside. Every day, you dress, speak, or act with one eye on the mirror and the other on the world. Will they like me? Will they approve? Did I sound foolish? Will they talk behind my back? And like that, you become two people, the real you and the version made only to please others. Slowly, the real one fades away. Buddha once said, "There's no fire like passion, no shark like hatred, no snare like folly, no torrent like craving." In craving for approval, this silent hunger, it's a torrent that drowns our inner calm. You think you're chasing respect, but what you're really doing is escaping your own fear. Ask yourself gently, who taught you to live like this? Who decided you are not enough just as you are? Was it one person? Was it many? Or is it the whole noisy world pushing its voice into your soul? A bird never asks another bird, "Is it okay if I sing now?" The river never seeks permission to flow. The clouds do not wait for applause to move through the sky. Why then should you wait for the world to say, "Go ahead, be yourself"? You see, opinions are like wind. They come and go, they change direction every day, and they are never in your control. And yet, people build their lives like paper boats, letting these winds decide where to go. What happens then? The boat tips, sinks, or spins endlessly. In Zen, we say, when a mind is quiet, the world is quiet. But if your mind is noisy with the thoughts of others, then even in silence you will hear noise. It will come in the form of doubt, fear, hesitation. You will sit still, but your mind will race. So how do we stop this noise? First, by understanding deeply that people will always have opinions. Some will praise you, some will laugh, some will stay silent. But all of this belongs to them, not to you. You don't need to carry it. Once, a monk was insulted by a traveler. He stood silent. His friend asked, "Why didn't you reply?" The monk smiled and said, If someone offers you a gift and you do not take it, to whom does the gift belong? The same is true of insult, judgment, and gossip. If you don't receive it, it stays with the sender. But how do you not receive it? That is the practice. You breathe. You remember, this is not mine. You remind yourself, I am not what others think. I am what I know, what I feel, what I practice. You begin small. Maybe someone criticizes you. Instead of defending yourself or overthinking, pause. Just ask, is this true? If it is, learn. If it's not, let it go. You don't have to respond to every voice. Not every bark deserves your attention. Some things are best walked past. The world will keep talking. It has talked before you were born, and it will talk after you are gone. No one has escaped it. Even a Buddha was criticized. Even the kindest soul is misunderstood. So why spend your life begging for what cannot be guaranteed? There's a soft power in silence, a strong peace in knowing yourself. And there's a deep joy in not needing others to clap when you speak or nod when you act. You are free when you stop waiting for the world to tell you, you're enough. Do not let your peace be rented out to strangers. What someone thinks of your path does not change your destination. Just walk. Walk gently. Walk mindfully. The mountain does not shrink because the valley complains. The sun does not stop shining because someone says it's too bright. Yes, it hurts sometimes when people speak poorly. You're not a stone, but pain passes and wisdom stays. Don't build a life trying to be understood by everyone. Build a life that makes sense to your own soul. Look inside more than you look outside. The outside is a mirror. It only reflects, but does not define. The true home is within. And when that home is clean, peaceful, and bright, even storms outside cannot shake it. One day, you'll look back and realize how much energy you spent trying to win over people who didn't even understand themselves. Let that be your turning point. Choose quiet confidence. Choose kindness that doesn't seek reward. Choose actions that align with your truth, not with trends. Speak when it is kind, and stay silent when it is wise. This is not pride. This is freedom. Let go of the need to correct every misunderstanding. Let go of the habit of seeking approval before every decision. And above all, let go of the false belief that you are small unless others say you are big. You are never small. You are only made to believe so. Now, you're waking up, and in this waking up, the world begins to loosen its grip. Opinions lose their chains, and you walk, not with arrogance, not with fear, but with the calm smile of someone who no longer needs to explain. That, my dear one, is real freedom, the kind no one can give you, and no one can take away. How ego binds us to social expectations. Listen carefully, my friend. You worry too much about what others think of you. You twist your words. You change your steps. You hide your true face. All for what? To fit into a world that doesn't even understand itself. You are not alone in this. Almost everyone does it. And behind all this effort, there is something silent, something sticky, something very tricky. It's called ego. Ego is not pride in a loud way. It is not shouting, look at me, I'm the best. No, ego can also be quiet. It hides. It whispers, what will they say about me? Or I want them to like me. The ego doesn't always want to be above others. Sometimes it just wants to be accepted by them. And that is how it binds you, slowly, softly, but very tightly. In Buddhism, the ego is like a mask we wear. It keeps us trapped in false ideas about who we are and what we must become. The Buddha said, there is no permanent self. But still, we act as if we must protect this made-up self at all costs. We build it out of opinions, titles, clothes, likes, and status. And then we become afraid to lose what we built. Afraid that others won't respect our mask. Let me tell you a simple story. A young monk once asked me, Master, why do I feel so heavy when I go to town, but light when I am alone in the forest? I smiled and said, in the forest, you walk with trees. In the town, you walk with your ego. The monk did not speak after that. He simply bowed and walked back to the trees. This is the weight you carry every day. The need to please, the need to be liked, the need to be seen a certain way. It's not that people force this on you. No, it's that your ego wants to be seen in the right light. It wants to be safe, so it begs for others' approval. It chases every smile and fears every frown. But what happens when you begin to let go of this ego? You become free. You no longer dress for others. You no longer speak to be accepted. You speak because something true needs to be said. You move not to impress, but to express peace. And suddenly, everything becomes simple again. Now, let's be very honest. Ego is clever. It will wear spiritual clothes too. It will say, I am humble. I am awakened. And again, you fall into the trap. The ego doesn't mind what shape it takes. It just wants to survive. So, whether you chase luxury or chase simplicity to show off, the ego is still working. Be very watchful. Ask yourself, why do I want this person to like me? Why do I fear what they will say? What image am I trying to protect? If the answer leads to your ego, then you know it's time to step back. The Buddha once sat silently while people praised him. He also sat silently while they insulted him. One of his disciples asked, Master, how can you stay calm in both situations? The Buddha smiled gently and replied, because I know neither praise nor blame belongs to me. They're like winds that blow. I do not chase the wind. This is the heart of wisdom. When you don't need to be seen as smart or good or right, you become free to actually be those things, quietly, without proving, without showing. That's when peace arrives. That's when the ego begins to fade. Ego binds you to social expectations. It ties you to rules that don't even come from your own soul. You think you must succeed by a certain age, speak a certain way, live in a certain style, have a certain body, or follow a certain path. But who made these rules? Who is checking your scorecard? And why are you running in a race you never even chose? Wake up. This life is too short to live for other people's approval, and too long to carry the burden of false expectations. Sit down, breathe deeply, look inside. Who are you when nobody is watching? Who are you when the world is silent? That is your true self, and that self doesn't care what others think. It just is. Simple. Silent. Enough. Now, this does not mean you become rude or careless. No, it means you become honest. You don't fake kindness to look nice. You become kind because your heart feels peace. You don't say yes when your truth says no. You no longer try to shine in others' eyes. You try to shine from within. This is not easy at first. It feels like walking without shoes after a lifetime in heavy boots. Your feet will hurt, but soon you'll feel the earth again. You'll feel real again, and you'll wonder how you ever lived buried under the pressure of others' opinions. Let others think what they want. Let them praise, let them mock. That's their path. Your path is peace. Your path is truth. And once you truly understand this, you'll laugh, not out of anger, but out of lightness. You'll smile when others misunderstand you. You'll keep walking when others try to pull you into their storms. Because a calm mind is not born from controlling others. It's born from releasing the ego. So now, ask yourself again, why do you think so much about others? Maybe the real answer is this. You think too much about others because your ego still wants something from them. Let it go. Let go of the false you. And the real you will stop needing the world's permission to be at peace. You're already enough. But the ego will never let you believe that. So don't wait. Let the ego fall. Let expectations fall. Let the noise of the world fall. And in that quiet space, you'll finally hear the one thing that truly matters, yourself. Letting go of comparison and judgment. Come, sit with me. Today, I want to speak about something that quietly steals our peace without us even noticing. Comparison and judgment. When you walk through a garden, do you compare the rose to the sunflower? Do you tell the jasmine, you're not as bright as the marigold? Of course not. You simply enjoy each flower as it is. But in life, we forget this simple truth. We compare ourselves to others constantly. Their looks, their money, their relationships, their words, their silence. And each time we compare, we move a little further from peace. A young student once came to me and said, Master, my heart feels heavy. I feel I'm not good enough. I see others doing more, being more, having more. I smiled gently and handed him a stone. I said, hold this stone and walk around the garden. Compare each tree, each leaf, each petal. Then come back. He came back tired. Master, Everything was different. Some trees were tall, some thin, some old, some young. Some flowers bloomed, some didn't. I couldn't find a way to compare them. I nodded, and that is exactly how life is. Comparison is a trick of the mind. The mind likes to create measurements, but life was never meant to be measured that way. When you compare yourself, you're using a distorted mirror. You're trying to measure sunlight with a cup. You're looking at others and saying, "Why don't I shine like them?" But your shine is your own. Your journey is your own. Judgment is its twin brother. When we compare, we also start to judge. Not just others, but ourselves too. We say, "She's not kind enough. He's too arrogant. I'm not successful. They are wrong." And on and on. But who gave us the measuring tape? Who decided what is right and what is wrong in everyone's story? In the Dhammapada, it is said, "Let none find fault with others. Let none see the omissions and commissions of others. But let one see one's own acts, done and undone." You see, a wise person doesn't waste energy judging others. They observe, they understand, but they do not label quickly. A river flows not because it judges the stones, but because it knows how to flow around them. Likewise, peace flows when you stop blocking it with judgment. Some people will be kinder than you, some more successful, some more patient, some less aware, and some completely unaware. But this is not a competition. This is a shared journey. Each soul is unfolding like a flower. Not all bloom at the same time. Have you ever seen a lotus blossom at night? No, it waits for sunlight. Just like that, each being blooms in their own time, in their own season. Do not rush yourself by looking at the flowers of others. And do not look down on those who are still buds. We are all on the same path, just in different steps. Let me tell you something more subtle. When you compare yourself, you stop listening to yourself. You stop hearing your inner wisdom. You begin to live through others' eyes. That is a painful way to live. You become a puppet of society, pulled by invisible threads of expectation. And when you judge others too much, you carry a weight. Every time you criticize someone in your heart, it's like placing a stone in your pocket. By the end of the day, you are exhausted, not from the world, but from the weight you chose to carry. Freedom doesn't come from perfection. It comes from acceptance. Accepting yourself as you are, and others as they are, is the doorway to deep peace. One day, you will look around and see clearly. No one was ahead, no one behind. All were just walking, some on mountain paths, some in valleys, some in forests, and some on sand. But all were walking home. So whenever the mind tries to compare, smile at it. Say, "I don't need that today." And whenever it tries to judge, pause, breathe, and say, "I choose to understand, not judge." You don't need to shrink to make someone else feel taller. And you don't need to climb above someone to prove your worth. Worth is not proved. It is remembered. And in stillness, you remember it again. Live like the sky, spacious, open, and unbothered by the movement of clouds. Clouds may gather and go, but the sky never changes. The sky does not compare itself to the ocean. It simply is. And that's enough. If today, even for one moment, you stop comparing, that's progress. If you smile at someone instead of judging them, that's transformation. These small moments build the whole path. Walk it slowly. Walk it kindly. You are not behind anyone. You are not ahead of anyone. You are just you. And that is more than enough. Let your mind rest. Let your eyes see the world as it is, not as your judgments paint it. Let your heart breathe freely, without comparison. This is the way of the wise. This is the way of peace. This is the way of the Buddha. And this, my dear one, could be your way too. Mindfulness, the key to inner independence. You wake up, you check your phone, you read a message, and suddenly feel something, happy, sad, angry, confused. Without even brushing your teeth, someone else's words have already entered your mind. Isn't that strange? This is how most people live, like boats drifting in the ocean, pulled by every wave, every wind. One word from someone, and your whole mood changes. One look from someone, and your confidence disappears. One post online, and your peace is gone. Why? Because the mind is not with you. It is always with others. But there is a way to return, a way to stop this endless journey outward, a way to come home to yourself. That way is mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present with what is happening, here, now, not in someone's head, not in their opinion, not in your imagination. Just here, just now, with breath, with stillness, with awareness. You're drinking tea. Just drink tea. Don't think about what your cousin said yesterday. Don't imagine what your boss might think tomorrow. Just hold a cup. Feel the warmth. Taste the tea. Be here. You're walking. Just walk. Feel the ground under your feet. Feel your legs moving. Don't let your mind race to what others are doing or saying. Just walk. This is not laziness. This is not ignoring life. This is the most powerful thing you can do, to be where your life actually is. People think they need to control the world to find peace. But the Buddha showed a different path. Control your mind, and the world will not disturb you. One day, a man came to the Buddha and insulted him with many harsh words. The Buddha listened calmly. When the man finished, the Buddha said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man was silent. He understood. The Buddha had not taken his anger. He had remained free. This is mindfulness in action. It is not about sitting with eyes closed in a cave. It is about meeting life with awareness. Someone praises you, you know it, but you don't cling. Someone criticizes you, you hear it, but you don't suffer. Someone ignores you, you notice, but you don't shrink. You remain still inside, like a tree rooted deep in the earth. The wind blows, but you do not fall. Most people react without knowing. They feel something and immediately react. That is unconscious living. Mindfulness brings space between feeling and action. You feel something, but instead of reacting, you observe. You stay calm. You let the storm pass. This is inner independence. You no longer live on other people's approval. You no longer get trapped in their judgments. You are present. You are steady. Every breath is a chance to return to this moment. Right now, not the past, not the future, not what they said, not what they might think. Just this moment. And in this moment, you are free. The Buddha said, "Be a lamp unto yourself." This means stop depending on others to light your path. Use your awareness. Use your mindfulness. That is your lamp. When people say hurtful things, it's not always about you. Often, it's their pain speaking. When people try to control you, it's often because they have no control over themselves. But if you are mindful, you will not fall into their chaos. You will see clearly. You will hear the words, but not get wounded. You will feel emotions, but not drown in them. You will walk through life, not carried by every opinion. This is strength, not loud, not aggressive, but silent and unshakable. It all begins with small moments. Washing your hands with full attention, eating your food slowly, breathing deeply when you feel tight inside, listening fully without planning your reply. These tiny acts build a new mind, and this new mind cannot be pushed around by others. It doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop being controlled by them. It means you can love, but not lose yourself. You can give, but not feel empty. You can listen, but not be broken. Mindfulness gives you back to yourself. Many people look outside for freedom, but the real freedom is within. The freedom to sit with your feelings without escaping. The freedom to watch your thoughts without believing all of them. The freedom to respond instead of reacting. The freedom to just be. So don't wait. Start now. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Feel it come in. Feel it go out. That's it. You're home. Let the world say what it wants. Let others do what they will. Your job is not to control them. Your job is to stay awake within yourself. That is true independence. That is the path the Buddha walked. And that is the path waiting for you. The Dhamma of non-attachment to praise and blame. Sit down, child. Let your mind be still like the surface of a quiet pond. You have come far in this journey of understanding why we think so much about others. Now let us speak of two powerful forces that keep people spinning like a wheel: praise and blame. From the moment we are born, we are fed with praise when we do what others like, and blame when we do what they don't. Good boy, they say. Bad girl, they shout. Slowly, slowly, our hearts learn to crave one and fear the other. But this is not the path to peace. It is a path to suffering. Why? Because both praise and blame come from outside you. and anything that comes from outside is not stable. It changes like the weather. Today they love you. Tomorrow they forget your name. Today they admire your work. Tomorrow they criticize it harshly. Are you going to let your peace rise and fall like a boat on stormy waters? The Buddha said there are 8 worldly winds: gain and loss, pleasure and pain, praise and blame, fame and disgrace. These winds blow through every life. But the wise person does not build his house on the wind. He builds it on the ground of Dhamma, truth, mindfulness, wisdom. Let me tell you a small story. Once, a monk was insulted by a man in the village every day. The man would throw angry words like stones. But the monk never reacted. One day, the man asked, "Why don't you ever respond to my insults?" The monk smiled and said, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The man said, "To the one who offered it." The monk said, "Exactly. I do not accept your gift." That is the way of non-attachment to blame. If someone throws poison at you, do you catch it and drink it? No. You let it fall. You keep walking. But child, praise can be even more dangerous. Because it feels sweet. It feeds the ego. It tells you that you're special, better, important. But if you start depending on praise to feel worthy, then one day, when it doesn't come, you will feel empty. This is a soft prison that looks like freedom. Don't be afraid of silence. Don't be afraid if no one claps. Let your action be your applause. Let your breath be your approval. Let the stillness inside you become your home. This doesn't mean you become stone. It means you become strong. It means you are kind, but not shaken. You are open, but not empty. You listen to others, but you don't lose yourself in their words. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha says, "As a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, so the wise are not moved by praise or blame." What a powerful image. A rock, firm and unmoved. You must become like this rock, not cold but steady, not proud but grounded. Ask yourself, when someone praises me, do I smile too wide? When someone blames me, do I feel broken inside? If the answer is yes, it means you're still giving your peace to others. It's time to take it back. You may think, but Zen Master, I want to be loved, appreciated, respected. And I tell you, yes, it's human to want these things. But don't depend on them. Let them come like a breeze through the trees. Feel them, enjoy them, but don't chase them. Don't build your home in the wind. There's a calm power in people who don't cling to praise and blame. They walk differently. Their eyes are quiet. Their hearts are light, because they are not being pulled in every direction by what others think. This is not carelessness. This is deep care. Care for your mind, care for your spirit, care for your freedom. You must understand, some people will never praise you, no matter what you do. Others will always find something to blame. If you try to please everyone, you'll tear yourself into pieces. And even then, someone will still be unhappy. So choose peace instead. Choose truth. Choose the inner smile that no one can give or take away. Sit quietly now and ask yourself, who am I without their praise? Who am I without their blame? Can you feel that silence? That is where your true self lives. That is where your power is. Praise and blame are not enemies. They are teachers. When someone praises you, they are teaching you detachment. When someone blames you, they are also teaching you detachment. Bow to both, and then walk on. Let each moment be your practice. If someone praises you, don't cling to it. Say, "This is pleasant, but it will pass." If someone blames you, don't fight it. Say, "This is painful, but it will pass." In both cases, breathe. In both cases, return stillness. The way of the Buddha is not the way of running or reacting. It is the way of watching, of understanding, of letting go. Do not fear what others think. Fear only losing the path of truth. The world will talk. Let it. You walk. Do not shrink because someone does not clap. Do not grow too tall because someone says well done. Just be. Simply, gently, fully. That is enough. You're not here to dance for approval. You're not here to hide from blame. You're here to know yourself, to live with compassion, to awaken your mind, to walk the path. So walk it. And if the winds blow, let them blow. You are the rock. When you stop needing praise, you are free. When you stop fearing blame, you are free. And when you are free, the world cannot shake you. This is the Dhamma. This is your path, and you're walking it well. The trap of people-pleasing and Buddhist detachment. In this world, many live as if walking on a narrow path, trying hard not to upset those around them. This is the path of people-pleasing. It is a subtle trap, often unseen until one feels exhausted or lost. A person who pleases others too much forgets the truth of their own heart. They forget what brings them peace. Imagine a small tree bending every time the wind blows. It bends because it wants to survive, but over time, it loses its strength. People who constantly try to please others are like that tree. They bend to every opinion, to every expectation, until their own roots weaken. The Buddha taught us about the middle way. It is not about pushing others away or being cold. It is about balance, knowing when to listen and when to protect one's own heart. People-pleasing happens when we lose this balance. We give too much of ourselves to others' wishes and forget ourselves. Why do people please? Because of fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of loneliness. Fear of not being loved. These fears are natural, but when they grow too big, they become chains. They bind the mind and the heart. Buddhism shows us a way out of this trap. The first step is understanding impermanence. Everything changes, including people's thoughts and feelings. Someone who praises you today may forget you tomorrow. Someone who criticizes you now may find joy in you later. When we cling to their approval or fear their judgment, we suffer unnecessarily. The Zen Master once said, "To please all is to please none." When we spread ourselves thin, try to fit every mold, we lose our true shape. The path to freedom begins with detachment, not from people, but from the need for their approval. Detachment is not coldness. It is warmth without possession. It is loving others without needing something in return. When you detach, you are free to be kind, honest, and gentle, without the heavy weight of expectations. Think about water. Water flows naturally, adapting to the shape of the container. It remains water. It does not lose itself. Similarly, we can live among others, care for them, yet stay true to ourselves. Another teaching from the Buddha is mindfulness. When you are mindful, you watch your thoughts without judgment. You see when the desire to please arises. You notice the fear behind it, and then gently you let it go. In practice, this means saying no when you need to without guilt. It means listening to your heart's needs. It means setting boundaries kindly. Boundaries are not walls. They are bridges to healthy relationships. A common story tells of a student who always agreed with everyone to avoid conflict. Over time, the student felt hollow inside. One day, the teacher asked, "Who are you truly?" The student realized they didn't know because they had spent so much time being what others wanted. The Zen Master smiled and said, "Know yourself first. The world will follow." When we stop trying to please others, we discover our true self. This self is not perfect or flawless, but it is real. It is enough. This truth is not easy. Old habits of people-pleasing are strong. The mind is like a monkey jumping from thought to thought, craving acceptance. But with patience and practice, the monkey can be calmed. Buddhism offers meditation as a tool. Sit quietly. Watch your breath. When the urge to please arises, observe it without rushing to act. Ask yourself, is this my truth, or am I acting out of fear? Sometimes we fear loneliness so much that we lose ourselves in others. But true connection comes not from pleasing, but from being authentic. People are drawn to genuine hearts. When you show up as yourself, you attract the right people. The Buddha said that suffering comes from craving and attachment. Craving others' approval is one form. Attachment to how others see us traps us in unhappiness. Imagine carrying a heavy bag everywhere you go. This bag is filled with others' opinions, expectations, and judgments. It weighs you down, steals your energy. Detachment is like putting down this bag, even if only for a moment. Every moment you choose detachment, you practice freedom. Freedom to choose your path. Freedom to live with peace. But be gentle with yourself. Detachment is a skill learned over time, not a sudden change. Celebrate small steps. When you say no without guilt, when you speak your truth, you move closer to freedom. Sometimes, people-pleasing feels like kindness, but kindness is deeper than that. True kindness comes from a full heart, not from emptying yourself for others. Another wisdom from Buddhism is compassion. Compassion begins with yourself. When you are kind to your own heart, you are less likely to lose yourself trying to please others. You may ask, will people leave me if I stop pleasing? Perhaps some will, but those who leave were never truly connected to your real self. Those who stay will love you for who you are. This is the peace the Buddha invites us to find, not in others' eyes, but within. So, remember the small tree. Bend when needed, but stand firm when it matters. Like water, adapt without losing yourself. People-pleasing is a trap built on fear and craving. Buddhism gives us the key of detachment. Use it wisely. The journey is yours. Step by step, breathe by breathe, practice letting go. The mind becomes quiet. The heart opens. You find freedom not by changing others, but by changing your relationship to their thoughts. Let the need to please fall away like autumn leaves. Let your true self shine. This is the path of the Zen Master. This is the way of peace. Building a mind that doesn't crave approval. Cool me. Sit with me for a while. Let us talk about something that troubles many hearts. It is not pain from a body. It is not hunger or thirst. It is the deep ache of wanting others to like us. Wanting them to praise us, agree with us, smile at us, clap for us. And when they don't, we feel small, unsure, maybe even lost. Why does this happen? Why does your mind search so hard for someone else to say, "You are good"? This is the craving for approval, and it is one of the strongest chains the mind can wear. It looks soft, but it is heavy. It looks natural, but it steals your peace. Let me tell you something you may not have been told. You don't need anyone's approval to live your truth. You only need to see yourself clearly. A flower does not bloom because people look at it. It blooms because it is its nature to bloom. Whether seen or unseen, it opens when the sun rises. You are the same. You are not born to beg for smiles. You are born to shine on your own path. But how can we stop this habit? How can we stop this wanting? First, you must become aware. Catch your mind when it looks outward too much. When you say something and wait for a reaction, notice it. When you dress a certain way, post something online, or speak in a group. Are you doing it for joy, or are you doing it for approval? Many people live like actors in a play. Every move they make, every word they speak, is written by the invisible script of what will others think. This is not life. This is prison. Freedom begins when you stop performing. Understand this clearly. Approval is never permanent. Today, they may love you. Tomorrow, they may forget you. And the next day, they may criticize you. If your peace depends on them, you will be tossed like a leaf in the wind. But if your peace comes from within, from knowing your intentions are pure, from doing what is right and kind, then no one can shake you. You become like a mountain, still, strong, silent, and full of presence. When the Buddha walked through villages, not everyone welcomed him. Some ignored him. Some doubted him. Some even insulted him. But he smiled and kept walking. Why? Because he was not walking for applause. He was walking in truth. His path was not controlled by the opinions of others. And that is why his peace was deep and unshakable. You must build the same kind of mind. A mind that says, I will be kind whether or not they notice. I will be honest even if it is not liked. I will speak less, but speak truth. I will live not to impress, but to express. To do this, you need silence. Not just around you, but inside you. Spend some time every day without the phone, without people, without talking. Just sit. Just breathe. Just be. In that space, you will start hearing your real voice. And when you hear your own voice clearly, the noise of others fades away. You do not have to be rude or cold. You can love others, serve others, and still not crave their approval. This is the middle way. This is balance. It is possible to care for people and not be controlled by them. Let me give you a small practice. Each day, do one thing that feels right to you, but that others may not understand or approve of. Something small, like saying no to a plan you don't enjoy. wearing something simple instead of flashy, speaking less when gossip begins. And when you do it, don't explain, don't defend, just smile gently and move on. Over time, your mind will stop needing applause. It will find joy in quiet rightness. This is strength, this is freedom, and it is yours to claim. Another thing, when someone praises you, don't drink it too quickly. Let it touch you lightly like a breeze. Smile and bow gently, but don't hold on to it. Why? Because clinging to praise makes us hungry for more, and that hunger grows into dependence. Instead, let praise come and go, just like criticism. Neither is your identity. Who you are is deeper than what people say. Who you are is your breath, your stillness, your kindness when no one is watching. Remember that. When you are no longer controlled by the need to be liked, your mind becomes open like the sky. You are free to think, to speak, to live in your own way. This is not pride. This is peace. So walk slowly, observe the craving, smile at it when it comes, and let it pass like a cloud. Don't follow it. Don't feed it. Just return to your breath. You don't have to fight the world. You just have to stop fighting yourself. Approval will come and go, but your truth, once known, stays forever. Now go, live in such a way that your own heart approves. And that, dear one, is more than enough. The art of self-reliance through Buddhist insight. Come, sit. You have walked far, haven't you? Not in distance, but in thought. You have carried the weight of many voices, some kind, some sharp, many confusing. You've tried to please, to fit, to earn love, and maybe even to avoid rejection. It is a tiring walk, my friend. But now, let us sit in stillness, and I will tell you something that even the wind knows. True peace begins not when others understand you, but when you no longer need them to. In the teachings of the Buddha, there is something called self-reliance. Not the kind that closes the heart, but the kind that keeps your soul steady even when others come and go. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha says, "Be your own island." This is not loneliness. It is strength. When you rely too much on others, on their approval, their kindness, even their company, you begin to lose the voice within. That voice becomes quiet, not because it has nothing to say, but because you've placed others on a throne above it. Let me ask you this. If you walk in the forest and the trees do not clap for you, will you stop walking? If the river flows beside you, but does not say your name, will you feel forgotten? No, because the forest does not need to understand you for it to be beautiful, and you do not need to be understood to be whole. This is what self-reliance feels like. It is like a mountain, silent, still, and yet full of life. It does not lean on the clouds, nor fear the storms. It just is. But many people confuse self-reliance with selfishness. No, a selfish person thinks only of themselves. But a self-reliant person is strong enough to care for others without losing themselves in the process. You see, when you're not desperate for love, you can give love freely. When you're not begging for attention, your presence becomes peaceful. When you're not waiting for someone to believe in you, you begin to believe in yourself. And that is the most powerful kind of belief there is. In Buddhism, this self-belief is not pride. It is not arrogance. It is rooted in right view, seeing things clearly without fog, without lies. When you understand that everything is impermanent, you stop chasing what does not last. You no longer cling to others' opinions like they are permanent tattoos on your heart. You realize that your worth is not measured by applause, but by awareness. Let me tell you a simple story. There once was a young monk who kept seeking the master's praise. Every time he did something, he looked up to see if the master smiled. And when the master said nothing, the monk felt small, unseen. One day, the master said to him, "When you sweep the floor, do it to clean the temple, not to impress me. Because if I die tomorrow, you will still have dust on the floor and doubt in your heart." That moment changed the monk. He began to sweep without seeking. He began to serve without hoping. And strangely, he began to feel more peace than ever before. This is the power of walking your path, not someone else's. Now, ask yourself this gently. How often do you do things just to be seen? How often do you shrink your truth so that others are comfortable? How often do you wait for someone else to tell you that you're enough? Self-reliance is not about pushing people away. It's about not letting their silence shake your roots. It's about being okay when no one claps because you know you are still dancing inside. Let's go deeper. Buddhism teaches an etta, non-self. This means the you cling to is not solid, not fixed. So when people judge you, praise you, reject you, or ignore you, they're not even reacting to the real you. They're responding to their own minds, their own expectations, their own illusions. Why suffer because of someone else's dream? Even the Buddha was criticized. Even he was misunderstood. And yet he walked steadily, because he did not rely on others to know his truth. He had seen it for himself. You too can see clearly. But for that, you must sit quietly and return to your own center. Observe your breath. Feel the rise and fall. You're already complete in this moment. Nothing is missing, just the habit of looking outside. When you make peace with your own company, you are never lonely. When you trust your steps, you don't need a crowd to follow. When you know your intention, even a silent act becomes sacred. The world may try to shape you, but you're not clay for others to mold. You're the potter. You have the wheel. Your hands may tremble, but with mindfulness, they become steady again. Let me remind you, no one else is walking exactly where you walk. No one else feels exactly what you feel. And so, no one else can define your worth. That is yours to understand. Buddhism does not ask you to isolate yourself. It asks you to become so clear within that the outside world no longer confuses you. That is self-reliance, not in body, but in mind. When someone praises you, smile, but don't fly. When someone criticizes you, bow, but don't fall. Stay balanced. Stay rooted. That is the path of the wise. In time, you'll see, when you stop needing others to tell you who you are, you begin to find out who you truly are. Now take a breath. Close your eyes. Say quietly, I am enough. I am here. I walk with awareness. That is the beginning of your freedom, transforming insecurity into compassionate strength. Come close, my friend. Sit quietly for a while. Today, let us talk about something very real, something that hides deep in the heart. Insecurity. You may wear a smile outside, speak confidently in front of others, do all your work with care. But inside, there may still be a voice that whispers, am I enough? Am I truly seen? What if I fail? What if they don't like me? This voice of insecurity, it's like a shadow. Even in bright sunlight, the shadow walks with you. You can't fight it with anger, and you cannot run from it. But here is the truth. You can understand it. You can learn to transform it into a strength. Yes, a strength full of compassion. When you feel insecure, your heart is soft, open, and vulnerable. This is not a weakness. This is the ground where true growth begins. In the teachings of the Buddha, it is said that suffering can become a teacher, and insecurity is one such form of suffering. It shows us what we cling to. It reveals the places we haven't accepted yet. It guides us to look within instead of looking around. Many people try to hide their insecurity by being loud, by pretending to be perfect, by competing with others, by chasing attention. But that's like trying to calm a storm by shouting louder than the thunder. The storm doesn't stop that way. It only gets worse. Instead, a Zen way is to sit with the storm. Feel the wind, feel the rain, and then ask softly, what are you trying to teach me? This is how we begin to turn our insecurity into something new, into understanding, into patience, into compassion, not just for ourselves, but for everyone else who feels the same way, but hides it. When you think about it, are we all just doing our best to feel safe, to be loved, to be respected? Your insecurity reminds you that you're human. It connects you to others. It is the door that opens to compassion. You see, when you feel insecure, it's easy to think others are judging you. But often, they're just caught in their own storms. They're not looking at your flaws. They're busy worrying about their own. Knowing this can free you. You can stop performing for the crowd and start being real, honest, at peace. Now, here is a small story from the Zen path. A monk once went to his master and said, I feel like I am not good enough to be a monk. I am full of fear and doubt. The master smiled and replied, then you are ready to begin. The monk looked confused. But I'm not strong. The master nodded. Exactly. That is why you will walk gently. And that is the only way to walk the true path. Insecurity teaches you to walk gently, with awareness. To not rush. To not pretend. To not try to impress. Just to be. Just to breathe. Let's also talk about one of the biggest roots of insecurity, comparison. When you compare yourself to others, it's like looking through a broken mirror. You see pieces, not the whole. You see their success, but not their struggles. You see their confidence, but not the nights they cried. And worst of all, you stop seeing your own light. The Buddhist said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. This is not a beautiful quote for decoration. It's a reminder. You're not here to be someone else. You're here to be you. And that is not something small. Start from here, right now. Whenever insecurity rises, place your hand on your heart and say, it's okay. I see you. You're safe here. This small act of kindness towards yourself can change your life more than 1,000 praises from others. You don't have to push insecurity away. You don't have to fight it. Just understand it. Accept it. And let it soften you. That softness becomes strength. Not the strength to dominate others, but the strength to carry peace within, no matter what happens around you. Do you know what true confidence is? It is not walking into a room thinking you are better than everyone. It is walking into a room and not needing to compare yourself at all. It is being able to sit in silence and not feel empty. It is being alone and still feeling whole. Yes, insecurity is heavy, but if you hold it gently, it becomes a teacher, a mirror, a bridge to deeper wisdom. In this way, you begin to live not from fear, but from understanding. Not from needing attention, but from offering presence. Let's do one more thing together. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out fully. Say in your heart, I do not have to be perfect. I only have to be true. That is enough. That is more than enough. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are unfolding, like a flower, quietly, slowly, in your own time. No need to rush. No need to perform. The Zen path is not about shouting louder. It's about hearing deeper. And when you truly listen to your own heart, you will find something beautiful there. Not pride, not power, but peace. Let this be your new strength. A strength that smiles softly. A strength that understands. A strength that no one can take away because it does not come from outside. It rises from within. And that, dear friend, is the greatest strength of all. Living freely without the weight of others' thoughts. Come closer, my friend. Sit quietly. Listen, not with your ears, but with your heart. You've walked far now. 11 steps before this one. 11 teachings. 11 reflections. And now we are here, the last step, the final chapter. But perhaps the beginning of your true life. Tell me this. How many days have you lived not for yourself, but for others' thoughts? How many smiles have you faked because you were afraid someone might misunderstand you? How many words have you swallowed because you feared someone might judge you? How much of you have you lost trying to fit into the image others created? If you're tired, it's okay. That tiredness is not weakness. It's the weight of carrying too many minds inside one body. Now let it go. Let all go. Take a slow breath. Deep and gentle. Feel the air enter you, like truth returning to its home. You were never meant to live under the shadows of others' thoughts. You are not their puppet. You are not their mirror. You are not their approval. You are your own sunrise. You are the mountain that doesn't bow to the wind. Buddha said, just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, even so the wise are not moved by praise or blame. You see, praise is like sweet smoke. It rises and disappears. Blame is like sour wind. It passes and moves on. But your soul, your true self, that is like the earth. Still, calm, grounded, watching all things, touched by none. The world will always have something to say. If you are silent, they will say you're cold. If you speak, they will say you talk too much. If you succeed, they may envy you. If you fail, they may laugh at you. But the wise do not bend for every breeze. They walk steady, step by step, on the path of inner peace. So today I invite you to stop asking, what do they think of me? and instead ask, what do I feel about me? Stop trying to be liked. Be real. Stop trying to be understood. Be kind. Stop waiting for someone to accept you. Accept yourself. When you stop thinking too much about others, something magical happens. You finally meet yourself. You discover what truly makes you happy. You notice how the sunlight feels on your skin. You enjoy your own company. You become free. Not because the world changes, but because you do. Freedom is not found in running away from others. It is found in not letting their voices become louder than your own. When you walk into a room, don't look around to see who is watching you. Walk in like the ocean enters a shore, calm, powerful, and not needing to explain itself. Some people won't like your peace. That's okay. You didn't come here to fit in. You came here to wake up. And when you truly wake up, you see it clearly. People are just reflections of their own stories. Their judgments are about them, not you. If someone throws dirt at you, don't catch it. Let it fall. If someone calls you something you're not, smile gently. That's their dream, not your truth. And if someone loves you, thank them, but don't cling. Love must be free, or it's not love. In the end, life is short. You won't remember every name, every comment, every stare. But you will remember the feeling of being yourself, of being light, of being free. And so I tell you, live like the sky, open, vast, unbothered by the passing clouds. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't dim your light to blend into their darkness. Shine because that is what the sun does. Speak your truth with gentleness. Walk your path with courage. Love yourself, not because you are perfect, but because you are alive. And if you ever forget, come back to this moment. Close your eyes, breathe, and remember what the Buddhist said. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Now, we have reached the end of this journey together. But your real journey, your journey within, has just begun. There are so many who still live under the weight of others' thoughts. If this video helped you even a little, please don't keep it to yourself. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Wisdom Woven. Not just for the numbers, but because someone else, somewhere, is also trapped in the same thoughts you just released. Your small action may lead them to their peace. And now, I bow to you, not because I am less and you are more. I bow because the light in me honors the light in you. May you walk freely. May you think lightly. May you live deeply. Goodbye, my friend, until we meet again, inside the quiet space where no one else's thoughts live. How to stay unaffected by criticism and judgment. Cool me. Sit with me, like two clouds drifting in a quiet sky. Let the world grow silent for a while. Let the voices outside rest. Let the voices inside be heard. Today, we speak of something that touches every heart, criticism and judgment. No matter who you are, someone has judged you. Someone has spoken behind your back. Someone has criticized you without knowing your full story. Maybe it was a friend, maybe family, maybe a stranger, maybe even your own mind. And when it happened, you felt pain. That pain is not small. Words, though made of sound, can feel heavy like stones. In silent judgment, those looks, those whispers, can feel even heavier. But now I ask you softly, must we always suffer just because someone else chooses to judge? A wise person once said, if someone hands you a gift and you do not accept it, who does the gift belong to? The answer is clear. The gift remains with the giver. So it is with harsh words. If you do not accept their anger, it stays with them. If you do not drink their poison, it remains in their cup. If you do not wear their labels, they cannot stick to your soul. But we do not learn this overnight. The first time someone insults you, it hurts. The second time, it still hurts. But over time, through awareness and practice, you begin to see their judgment is a reflection of their mind, not your worth. Imagine walking down a road. A barking dog chases you. Would you bark back? Would you stop your journey just to argue with the dog? No, you keep walking. In the same way, when someone throws words like stones, don't bend down to pick them up. Let them fall. Let them be stones on the path, not weights in your pocket. The Buddha was once insulted by a man who followed him for miles. yelling harsh things. The Buddha did not respond. Finally, the man asked, "Why do you not react?" And the Buddha said, "If someone offers me something I do not accept, why should I carry it? This is freedom. But this freedom is not cold. It is not pride. It is peace. When someone criticizes you, you can listen calmly. Ask yourself, is there truth in their words? If yes, learn. If no, let go. But either way, don't carry what is not yours." Many people criticize because they are unhappy with themselves. They see their own weakness in you, or they are afraid of your strength, or they do not understand your path. That is okay. They do not have to understand. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to understand yourself. And so, my friend, stop bending for every voice. When you always try to explain yourself, you become tired. When you always try to prove yourself, you become lost. Let your actions be your response. Let your silence be your power. When someone says, "You are too quiet," just smile. When someone says, "You are too different," just breathe. When someone says, "You are wrong," look within. If your heart is clear, keep walking. Not everything needs a reply. Not every opinion needs attention. Imagine a still pond. A leaf falls. It creates ripples. But in time, the water becomes still again. So it is with your mind. Criticism may enter. Judgment may shake you. But let it settle. Let it pass. This is the way of the strong. Not those who shout, but those who stay silent.